All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JT Talks LA. It's been a minute. I'm James Torillo, or JT, host of this show, and today I'm here with my dad, Frank. How we doing?
Doing good. Hello, everyone.
Obviously, I get all my sports teams from my dad here. He's all LA, and then not that this matters for this show, but the Flyers as well. So got a new little setup going on. You may have seen it if you watched the On Deck podcast. That's also on this channel with me and Cody. We filmed that yesterday. That was a lot of fun. But today we're doing something a little different. It's the JT Talks LA show is back for the first time in a while. We took a little break, but we are back. And today, my dad and I are going to be giving our top 10 LA athletes from our lifetimes. So we'll go, I guess we can go back and forth. Like you can give your number 10, then I'll give mine.
Sure.
Um,
Sounds good.
but yeah, so it's from our lifetime. So if I don't have a guy like, for example, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He's not going to be in my top 10 because I was born in 2005. So it's my lifetime and his lifetime. I think we wanted to do it that way because I think it's just cooler to see like compare the two lists because if
or
we
else we would have had the same players, probably.
yeah, exactly. We would have had pretty much the same list. We'll definitely have some of the same players,
Yeah.
but
I'm predicting three.
three, I think I know exactly the three that you're talking about as well. So yeah, you want to go first with your number 10? I'll pull up my list right now.
Sure.
Um, yes.
Number 10 is my one surprise on the list.
Mm.
And
Can I take a guess?
Sure.
Is it for my lifetime?
No.
Give me the sport or the team. I want to take a guess because you told me before you had a surprise.
LA Kings.
Gretzky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, Gretzky isn't number 10 on any list, but for LA sports, I'm putting him at number 10. I know he had his best years with Edmonton, but hockey in Los Angeles was the back of the page. It was way down the list.
Right.
He came to LA, selling out every game, movie stars coming to every game. The whole state started following hockey. Eventually, they ended up at hockey in San Jose. They ended up at hockey in Anaheim.
Yeah.
And he changed the whole dynamic in Southern California, where hockey was an afterthought, and he made it popular. And he took the Kings to the Stanley Cup Finals also.
Yeah.
So
What year was that they went to the Cup?
93.
93.
He had like 160-something points that year, so it wasn't like he was over the hill.
Right. Yeah. I don't have any Kings on mine. I just have the teams that we root for. I know some
Yeah.
people are going to be confused why, you know, we're not Kings fans. We're all over the place, really. We're Dodgers fans because of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
started rooting for the Rams when they were St. Louis. It's kind of just all a coincidence that they're all from LA, but this is mainly Lakers, Rams, and Dodgers for the people wondering. The real LA teams, not
Yeah.
the. If I apologize to the three Clippers, Angels, and Chargers fans in the world that might see this, but yeah, number 10. From my lifetime, I have Matt Stafford. Uh,
It's a good one.
I would have had a guy like mm, nah, because I was gonna say I would have a guy like Kurt Warner on here because he also won the Super Bowl, but that was the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah.
So, and it was just before my lifetime. So I have Matt Stafford on here, the only LA Rams quarterback to win a Super Bowl. So I feel like he has to be on here.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
one. That's a good
so
one.
I do have a few Rams on here. Matt Stafford is one of them. I have him at number 10. So who do you have at number
That's a
9?
real good one. Number 9, I have Oral Hershiser.
Okay.
He doesn't get enough love. His number should be retired.
Yeah.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But what he did in '88, down the stretch, 59 consecutive scoreless innings, he broke one of the most unbreakable records in sports, and he did it in August and September when all the games had significant meaning.
Yeah.
And then he continued in the playoffs. He was
Right.
the Cy Young winner for that year. He was the MVP of the NLCS, the MVP of the World Series. And, he also had a great career, but that particular year alone puts him on the LA Mount Rushmore.
LA Mount Rushmore, you think?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not top 4, top 10.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So at my number 9, For my lifetime, I have Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman would be much higher on this list if he was a Dodger his whole career. Obviously, he spent his first 12 seasons with Atlanta. Um, I think that moment in Game One alone last year against the Yankees has him on my list, but it also helps his case that he was a World Series MVP. I have him ahead of Stafford because they both have brought one championship each so far to Los Angeles, but Freddie was the MVP of that series. Um, I also think he's one of the best first basemen of all time, so I think he deserves to be on this list.
Freddie, I didn't put Freddie on my list, and it hurt not to, but there were just too many guys that were in LA most of their career, or all of their career, that I
Yeah.
had to just put just ahead of him. Let's see, number 8, I have Shaq.
Shaq, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Or that's yeah, number
He
8.
could
Yeah.
be a lot higher. Some people might take him off the list because he didn't spend his whole career in LA, but when you win 3 consecutive championships and you're the finals MVP 3 consecutive years, not too many people have done that, and he was dominant for the time he was there. So I had to put Shaq on the list.
The most dominant basketball player in history, I would say.
Nobody could contain him in his prime.
Would you agree with that? The most dominant player ever?
Probably most unguardable. There was nobody big enough, and whoever was his size wasn't quick enough.
Right. Yeah. For number 8, I also have a Laker. Do you have any guesses?
Number 8. Let's see. Kareem.
My lifetime.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. That's right. I know it's definitely not Kobe. Let's see. Derek Fisher.
I have Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol.
But
That's my next
Derek
guess.
Fisher is a good guess. I remember liking him when I was little, but Pau Gasol was just the one piece that Kobe needed to bring
Yeah.
another championship, win his fourth and fifth ring,
Yeah.
beat the Celtics in 2010. I don't think this list would be valid without Pau Gasol. So
Yeah. No, that's a good choice. Definitely a good choice.
yeah, so I have a player from each of our LA teams so far. I have a Ram, a Dodger, and a Laker. Stafford, Freddie, and Pau Gasol. So who do you have at number 7?
That's a good call. Number 7, I have Jackie Slater, left tackle for the Rams
Hmm.
for 20 years. Left tackle for Eric Dickerson, breaking records. I think he was 8-time Pro Bowler, 20 years with the same team, and just as steady as can be. A great left tackle his whole career. Had an all-time great game against Reggie White. I think it was in '87. Going up against him one-on-one the entire game. Nobody blocked Reggie one-on-one, and it freed up everybody else. They ended up going into Philly, winning a playoff game in Philly, which didn't happen back then because no West Coast team had ever come
Right.
East and won in January. That was just one game that really stood out against Reggie White, but he's an all-time great. 20 years of left tackle. I think it was 8 Pro Bowls.
Right.
One of the all-time great Rams, and 20 years with the same team. You got to put him on the list.
Yeah. Number 7 for me, I have another Dodger. I have Mookie Betts. Obviously, Mookie would be higher, just like Freddie. He would be higher if he was a Dodger's whole career, but he spent so many years with Boston. Actually, beat us in the World Series in 2018. He would be higher, but he's already won 2 championships with the Dodgers. I clearly remember right before COVID when we traded for him. I remember in his interview when he came to LA, his press conference, he said, "I'm here to bring championships to this city," and he's done that already.
2
And
so far.
yeah, so far he could bring at the parade when they after the parade when they went to Dodger Stadium, the stadium was packed, and he was like, "I got 3. I want to fill this hand up, LA," which is kind of funny because he beat LA in one of them,
Yeah, yeah,
but he could still fill that hand up even taking that one away.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
Mookie's got to be on there. He was a huge piece in our run in 2020, and then obviously a huge piece in our run in 2024. So Mookie Betts is at number 7 for me.
That's a good pick. Let's see, number 6. I can't believe I don't have him higher, but at this point, the top 6 are probably interchangeable. I have Kareem.
Wow,
Yeah,
I expected you to have him higher.
yeah, he probably should be higher, but 5 championships with the Lakers, an MVP. Was the all-time leading scorer until LeBron broke the record.
Hmm.
He's probably on anybody's top 3 list of all time, not even LA, just all time. So
Yeah.
he probably deserves to be higher on this list. Um, but yeah, Kareem, when I played when I was little, always trying to do the sky hook, the most identifiable shot in the history of the
Yeah.
NBA, unstoppable shot. And he's also top 5 in rebounding, top 5 in block shots, number 2 in scoring, 6 total MVPs, 6 total titles because he had the one MVP. I'm sorry, the one championship with Milwaukee.
Yeah. I always play basketball with my friends, and I always do the hook shot, and
Yep.
it's just kind of like become like a thing that I do.
All these years later, you only think of one player with the hook shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's always like, obviously nobody around my age that I play basketball with was alive when Kareem played, but every time I do it, everyone's always like, Kareem! Like everyone knows who it is.
Yeah.
It's not like people are like, what was that? Where'd you get that from? Everybody knows it was Kareem.
And he was clutch.
Yeah.
Shot clock, whether it's the game clock or the shot clock winding down, just dump it into Kareem, puts up the hook, swish.
Yep. At number 6 for me, I was very, very hard to put him this low, but the top 5 in my lifetime ahead of him are like all-time great athletes ever, not just LA, not just in their
Yeah.
sport. So number 6, I have Cooper Cup. I have him ahead of the guys I've already named because of his 2021-2022 season. That's the best season a wide receiver's ever had in the history of the sport of football. Um, the Triple Crown, Super Bowl MVP, 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. That made me realize, like, he's tied for my favorite athlete ever in any sport.
Yeah.
So I had to put Cooper Cup on this list. You guys will see why he's not higher because the 5 guys ahead of him are all generational talents that, people from 100 years from now will still be talking about. Not that Cooper Cup isn't, but unfortunately Cooper Cup's not in LA anymore. So I have my guy at number 6.
Okay. No, that's a good pick. That's a real good pick. And if he didn't get hurt, he would have had a lot more great seasons.
If it weren't for John Wolford throwing him a hospital ball,
Yeah.
he'd probably still be a Ram. So I blame John Wolford for that. But
Yeah, that's a great pick. I love Cooper Cup. My number 5 probably isn't number 5 on any list. He's probably never been that low. He probably should be higher. But Aaron Donald,
okay,
um, that's one of my picks that I predict to be on both of our lists. I have Aaron Donald at number 5, best defensive player I've ever seen. Just destroyed offenses. I mean,
yeah,
he double teamed every play practically, blows up double teams, blows up triple teams. I never, I'm watching football 50 years, and the only time I've ever just watched a defensive tackle when the defense was on the field. Just watch him. And how often do you just watch a defensive tackle?
right,
His last year, there was a crazy stat, and this was his last year, not even his prime, where I think the league average was 17% the defensive lineman beats the offensive lineman. And Aaron Donald beat double teams at an 18% clip. So he beat double teams more often than the average player beat one-on-one,
that's
which is
unheard
just
of.
ridiculous. And
Yeah,
if you watch 5-minute highlights of him, it's like watching a cartoon character.
yeah,
He's just ridiculously strong, ridiculously fast, and he gave away 40 pounds on average to most of the offensive linemen
yeah.
because he was only about 280.
He wasn't. He was like muscular and like he was like shredded, but he wasn't like that big, which is
No,
why people didn't think he'd be as good as he was. But
he was unstoppable.
yeah,
And 280 pounds, you just throw around guys that were 320 like they were
yeah,
nothing.
yeah. I have a post that I saved on TikTok from somebody else from years ago, and the caption was like in quotes, "Dad, how good was Aaron Donald?" And then it was a bunch of pictures of him with like getting like quadruple teamed and triple teamed. It's just ridiculous. It's like pictures of him like flying in the air with like 4 guys on him tackling the quarterback. He was nuts.
And
Did you
AFC
see?
Championship, he just last play tossed
Yeah,
Garoppolo aside, which led to an interception. Super Bowl, he wrapped up
Burrow.
Joe Burrow on 4th down, 4th and 1. He stopped run on 3rd and 1
with one arm.
with one arm, and then on 4th and 1, he tackled Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow just threw the ball up in the air to avoid a sack. But he basically ended the NFC Championship game in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Everybody knew they focused on him to block him, but
Yeah.
couldn't do it.
Have you seen the video of Sean McVay mic'd up during
Yeah,
that? And he was
it's
like,
great.
championship on the line. Aaron Donald's going to make a play. And then he made the play, and then McVay's jumping up and down going, I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Yeah, but Aaron Donald is just, he's one of one, the
Yep.
greatest defensive player of all time. At number 5 for me, just kind of like what you said about Aaron Donald. This guy does not deserve to be number 5 on any list, but because he wasn't in LA his whole career, I have him at 5. I have LeBron James. LeBron, you could obviously make the argument that he's the greatest basketball player of all time. Some people think he's one of the greatest athletes of all time. Can't really argue it. What else is there to say? It's LeBron James. The only reason I have 4 guys ahead of him is because he was a Laker. Like, he's a Laker towards the end of his career. If he was a Laker from 2003 until now, he would be number 1, maybe number 2 on this list.
Yeah.
So I have LeBron James at 5.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't put LeBron on my list, but there were just too many great LA athletes who were there for very
Right.
long periods of time. But it's just, I mean, like you said, an all-time great. You can't keep him off any list. But it was just a matter of, how many years in LA and how many championships in LA, which kind of contradicts my next pick. But my number 4 is Eric Dickerson. My opinion, the greatest running back of all time. And just be impartial. When I was a teenager, my entire wall was posters and pictures of Eric Dickerson. His first year in the league, he broke the all-time rookie rushing record. His second year in the league, he broke the all-time NFL single-season rushing record. His third year in the league, he broke the playoff record, 250 yards against the Cowboys. And that still stands, as does the all-time record and the rookie record. All those records still stand. Somehow they traded him, which all these years later, I'm still in shock.
It happened with me with
But
my favorite Ram
he-
ever too, except we didn't trade him, we released him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that
Dickerson,
feeling.
from the moment he stepped into the league, was dominant. And, it's too bad he couldn't win a Super Bowl, but the years he was with the Rams were just incredible to watch.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have him higher, just because I know how much you love Eric Dickerson. I always find it funny every year when a running back is having a good season, you're like, oh, he's only this amount of yards away from Dickerson.
Yeah.
You're like, obviously you never want a guy to get hurt or anything, but like when Saquon didn't play the last game of the year, you were like, you were like 10 times more relaxed watching football that week than you were the whole season.
Yeah, I knew the whole second half of the season, I was following Saquon saying, all right, he needs to average 132 yards a game to break the record, 131, 126. I'm like, uh-oh. And I was really worried because he was just tearing it up last year. But, yeah, I mean, and the other thing with Dickerson was back then, he was the only threat.
Yeah.
Everybody knew he was getting the ball.
Yeah.
They would put 8 in the box, and they had a really good offensive line, but they just didn't have a passing game.
Yeah.
And you still couldn't stop him.
That's kind of the main reason I think he's better than Marshall Faulk. No disrespect to Faulk, but a lot of people have Faulk ahead of Dickerson. I would say Dickerson's better because Faulk had one of the greatest Rams team, if not the greatest Rams team around him.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, they had a great passing game as well.
Yeah.
Marshall was great. He was a great all-around back. One of the best trades in the history of LA was when they made a trade to get him.
Yeah.
Changed the whole team. Changed the whole dynamic of the offense. And, Marshall was definitely a consideration for this list. But again, didn't have the longevity as a Ram.
Yeah. For me, I have another. So you had Dickerson at 4. I have a Dodger at 4, and that is Shohei Ohtani. I would have Shohei higher if this is just another one of those guys that if he was a Dodger from the start, he'd probably be number 1, like at worst number 2.
Yeah.
And I know technically he was always in LA, but I don't count the Angels as LA. I count them as Anaheim. Like, I don't think LA sports athletes, Shohei Ohtani when he was on the Angels, I would consider
No, I
that like
agree with that.
Anaheim, Ducks and Angels are in the same boat, and then it's, Dodgers, Rams, Lakers, whatever. So for me, Otani's only been an LA athlete for like a year and a half. I don't consider the Angels an LA team. Um, so yeah, I have him at number 4. Even yesterday, even though we lost, like what he's doing, he strikes out 8 guys, throws 4 innings, and he hits a home run to give us the lead. Like I know we end up losing, but like that's not supposed to happen.
No,
Like that's not supposed to be possible.
no.
Even Babe Ruth only did it for 1 year at the same time.
He's what he's doing. Nobody's ever done. He's the only guy in any sport that you can really say that about.
Yeah,
That what he's doing, he's not doing it at an average level, hitting and pitching. He's elite at both, which just can't happen.
right.
But the only reason he's not on my list, he's only been a Dodger for a year and a half.
Yeah.
4 years from now, you'd probably start the list with him at
Yeah.
number 1 and then go to everybody else.
Yeah.
You know,
I
but just because it's only been a year and a half, I didn't have him on mine.
yeah. I always say to my friends, when he retires, he'll be the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah.
Like I think right now, talk the greatest athlete of all time, you got to go Gretzky, Brady, those kind of guys. When Otani retires and his career is over in 10 years, 9 to 10 years from now, he will be the greatest athlete of all time.
Yeah, I agree.
So he would be number 1 on this list if we were doing this, in the
Yeah.
future.
Like I said, in a couple more years, he'd be number 1.
Yeah.
What are we up to now? 3?
3.
3 on my list. Number 3, I have Kobe.
Okay.
And, it's when you get to the top 3, it could be interchangeable. He could easily be number 1.
Yeah.
All-time great, 20 years with the same team, 5 championships, retired the number 3 scorer of all time. He was an all-defensive team almost every year. Tremendous defender that people don't give him credit for. Unstoppable scorer in his prime. You just couldn't stop him. He could score from anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that a lot of people don't know about the 80-point game.
81.
81-point game, because it was like a Sunday night on the West Coast during football season. Didn't get a lot of play, and then you bring it up to people, and they're like, he scored 81? And
Yeah.
It was in a close game. It wasn't like he just ran up his stats. It was in a close game where they needed the points. Just amazing. And then his last game ever, one of my favorite games of all time, when he scored 60 in his last game.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. The whole place going nuts. Lakers were out of it,
Yeah.
but
The Lakers won like
atmosphere-
17 games that year, and
Yeah.
the place was packed like it was Game 7 of the finals.
Exactly. The atmosphere there was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then the post-game press conference where he answered questions in 4 languages. Let me see. How many times you see that done?
Yeah.
Aside from being a great athlete, the guy was brilliant. But yeah, Kobe definitely number 3, could be number 1. But I have him at number 3.
Yeah. At my number 3, I have someone you've already mentioned. I have Aaron Donald. He's the greatest defensive football player I've ever seen. He's the greatest Ram I've ever seen. He's probably the greatest Ram of all time.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you might have Dickerson ahead of him. For me, I think Aaron Donald is the greatest Ram ever because I saw him play. So, I mean, we already touched base on Aaron Donald, talked about him a lot when you had him on your list, but I have him at number 3. My top 3, I think, could all be tied for number 1.
Yeah.
I do. The 2 guys I have ahead of him are like neck and neck with Aaron Donald. You could argue. I honestly think you could argue he's the greatest LA athlete in my lifetime, or like of my generation.
Oh, absolutely.
So
yeah.
yeah, I have Aaron Donald at number 3.
Number 1 and number 2, that was a tough choice. Very tough choice.
I know who one of them is.
I think you know both of them.
Oh yeah, I do know
And
both of them.
I think I think we might have the same number 1. If not, he'll probably be number 2 on yours. But
Yeah.
number 2, I have Magic Johnson.
Mm.
Could have had him number 1. Maybe my favorite athlete of all time. Played 12 seasons, 9 trips to the finals, 5 championships, 3 MVPs, and just played the game with a smile. Like he got it, that he was playing a game
Yeah.
and he was having fun. And I just never saw anybody like him. He just controlled the whole game. Every aspect of the game, 6'9" point guard. Kareem gets hurt in 1980 in the finals, Game 6. Magic steps in, plays center, puts up 40-plus points.
Yeah.
One of the all-time great games. Just I think one of the best quotes I ever heard about him was "Nobody dominates winning like Magic Johnson."
Right.
Because all he did was win. That's it. And that's all he wanted to do. He took several pay cuts or restructured his salary.
Yeah.
So he would make less towards the cap, and they could keep signing guys so they could keep winning.
Yeah.
Because that's what meant the most to him. Unlike a lot of guys today who, 50 million isn't enough. They want 55, but then great, you can't sign guys to help you win.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do was win.
The Tom Brady did like the same thing in his
Brady
career.
did,
I love when guys do that. You saw the Florida Panthers do it this offseason. They win the cup, and you're
Yeah.
thinking, all right, well, Marchand's not going to get re-signed. Sam Bennett's not going to get re-signed. And then they all take pay cuts. They can stay together and keep winning.
Yeah.
As much as people hate the Panthers, I love that because it's like, winning is more important than making a few extra $1 million. And I would be the same way if I was a professional athlete.
Yeah. 10 years from now, you're not going to remember if a guy made 50 or 55 million, but you remember if he has 2 or 3 championships compared to no championships.
Yeah.
So,
That's a great point. Yeah, my number 2, the only reason he's not at number 1 is because technically his career is not over. I have Clayton Kershaw. You know who I have at number 1, but the only reason I don't have him here is because the guy I have at number 1 retired a while ago, and Kershaw could technically still, he could win another ring. He could prove a little bit more. I mean, he doesn't have anything else to prove, really. He's the greatest pitcher of all time, but
nothing to prove.
yeah, he's still playing, so that's literally the only reason I don't have him at number 1. So your number 1, I'm assuming I know who it is.
Yep, Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's my number 1. Everybody knows how great he is, but I don't know if they realize to the extent. Lowest ERA in the history of baseball, and by a pretty wide margin, 2.52. Highest winning percentage in the history of baseball.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 most important stats for a pitcher, and he's number 1 in both. If you're in top 10 in both, you're in the Hall of Fame. When you're number 1 in both, you're the greatest. 3,000 strikeouts, 10 years with an ERA under 3, and I think it was three of those years under 2. Nobody's ever gone 10 years in the modern era with an ERA under 3.
Right.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, guys are happy if they have 1 year in their career with an ERA under 3, and he did it for a decade. Just unbelievably consistently great. And he got his 3,000 strikeout this year, and just a great guy.
Yeah.
Nobody ever had one bad thing, one controversial thing to say about him. On top of being a great pitcher, everybody says he's a great guy. So he's my number 1.
Yeah. For me, my number 1 is Kobe Bryant. I'm wearing his jersey for a reason. Like I said, the only reason I have him over Kershaw is because Kershaw's still playing. Kershaw could win another ring this year, retire, and I could have Kershaw ahead of Kobe. But to me, honestly, they're probably like tied for first. Honestly, it might be a 3-way tie for first with Kobe, Kershaw, and Aaron Donald because all of them are so good. I would have no problem with really any of the guys in my top 3, maybe even my top 5. I wouldn't have any problem with, them being switched around in any order.
It's tough.
But to me, Kobe is the most underrated basketball player ever. I think it's insane how like people around my age some people don't think he's top 5. There's people who don't think he's top 10. I think that's a joke.
Yeah, that's silly.
It's just ridiculous. I think he's the greatest basketball player of all time. You can argue LeBron, you can argue Jordan, Jabbar, Magic, you can argue those guys, but to me, it's Kobe. It always will be. I have Kobe Bryant number 1. So my list is Matt Stafford, Freddie Freeman, Pau Gasol, Mookie Betts, Cooper Kupp, LeBron James, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Donald, Clayton Kershaw, and Kobe Bean Bryant. You want to go over your list?
That's a great list. Mine, starting with number 10, Gretzky at 10, Oral Hershiser at 9, Shaq at 8, Jackie Slater at 7, Kareem at 6. I'm still shaking my head that I have Kareem at 6.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald at 5, Eric Dickerson at 4, Kobe at 3, Magic at 2, and Clayton Kershaw at 1. It was tough. I mean, I can't believe I have LeBron off the list, James Worthy off the list, my favorite player growing up, Steve Garvey, off the list.
Yeah.
Kirk Gibson, the greatest moment I've ever seen in baseball or maybe sports, was his home run, and I didn't put him on the list. Freddie's one of my all-time favorites. He's not on there. Kurt Warner, but that was St. Louis. Isaac Bruce, another Hall of Famer.
But St.
But
Louis,
yeah, he had 1 year. His first year he was in LA, and then the rest of his career was St. Louis. That's why
yeah,
he's not on the list. And Jack Youngblood was a tough one to leave off.
yeah,
He's a Hall of Famer. Played the NFC Championship game and the and the Super Bowl with a fractured fibula.
yeah. That's just
And
inhuman.
it's ridiculous. So it's the guys we left and Marshall Falk leaving him off.
Yeah,
It's another tough one. But he was St. Louis,
yeah.
so that's the only reason.
And there's some guys in here that could have been on the list if they were here longer. Like if LeBron was a Laker his whole career, he
Oh,
would be,
absolutely,
top 2 on your list, I'm sure.
absolutely.
Same with like you know, Otani, you would have at number 1 or 2 if he's been a Dodger his whole career. Um,
Yep.
there's other guys that were around for like a year or two. Like, I don't know if like guys quite like Von Miller or anybody would make the list, but if they were around their whole career, they'd be in the discussion. Um, who else? You have who knows? Maybe Puka Nakua will be up there on my list with Cooper Cup
Yeah.
when he retires. So we'll have to wait and see. But
And Stafford too. I didn't have him on my list, but the only
Yeah.
reason is because he's only been with them for a few years.
Yeah.
But he definitely, one more Super Bowl, and he's definitely on the list.
Yeah.
Even just a couple of more good seasons where maybe they get to the NFC Championship. If he plays a couple more years in LA, I'd have him up there.
Yeah.
And like I said, 4 years from now, it'd probably be a no-brainer. Otani will probably top the list.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
It's crazy because there's only so many cities. LA's probably the only city in like sports. If we were to do this for any other city, Jabbar would probably be number 1, and he's not even top 5 on your list,
Yeah.
which is crazy. Maybe New York, maybe Boston, but like other than that,
Yeah.
Jabbar would probably be number 1 on like any list. So
I mean, you can make a top 10 all-time basketball list and probably put 10 Lakers up there.
yeah,
Not bad an eyelash.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
for sure. Well, been a pleasure. Thank
Yeah,
you for
this
coming
is-
on the
this
show.
is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
bud.
you, of course. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. See ya.
Sounds good. Have a good one.